Steve, I love our catch-ups, but it always has a bit of a mixed feeling in New Zealand, the way it is at the moment. And today's no exception. You have had to turn up to this farce in court yet again this morning. They really are trying to psyop, I think, trying to just play mentally with you. What happened in court this morning?
We went in there this morning. I've had to enter a plea. We just going straight not guilty on all charges. But yeah, it is interesting. I mean, at a time where we've just had 3 fatal shootings within 2 or 3 kilometres of the house, just over this recent weekend, and the community's in a hell of a state. And I'm just trying to fight for our right to support the community. It's our base issue is we just want to be there for the community, and we're getting dragged through the courts, and at a time when the community is really suffering. So I don't know.
Can we mention the little guy from Worksafe? What was his name? What's his first name?
Gary, I think.
Gary from Worksafe. Pull off the charges. I think and I think this government knows, these charges will not hold up in a trial. And instead of facing that and pulling back on it and saying that was a bad idea to charge you, what they keep doing is kicking the ball down the road, don't they? So what's happening from this morning?
Now we've been postponed until September. For hopefully we can get on with it and try and find out what's going on. But we just keep getting postponed and postponed. So that's it's getting down towards the business end of things. So that's encouraging. But just looking forward to getting it resolved, really.
But Steve, do you think it is, or do you think they're just playing a psychological game with you so that this hangs over you and it's hanging over other Kiwis just to wear you down, to make you feel exhausted? A lot of Kiwis are saying at the moment, this government seems to just be wanting to exhaust and traumatize Kiwi families all over the country, make people worried, make people insecure.
Well, there's the confusion. I mean, people are on edge. The communities, I mean, just driving to the petrol station, people are, suffering from anxiety, the price of petrol right now.
The cost of petrol will come down.
Oh, look, the cost of petrol right now, we know that what we're seeing now is, for instance, the impact of COVID and that recovery of many countries.
So it will come down.
We also see the impact of the Ukraine crisis. No, not.
Do you know what proportion of the price that we pay at the pump is tax?
I have done in the past. At the current prices, I know it relative to the increase in crude oil. So, it's up over well over $100 a barrel now. So the increase that we've seen in the price of crude has outstripped the increases that have been caused by excise.
It's about 52%, they reckon. So more than half of what we're putting into our cars.
The families are suffering, and there's no certainty around anything. You don't know. There's just the confusion element, whether you can travel. Can I travel over to Australia? You try and look online, you just don't know. It varies from state to state. There's, whoever you ring, you get different answers. There's just no certainty. There's just no one knows what's going on, and it does have an effect to the community. They just feel like there's just no hope, and we need. At a time, when inflation it's an all-time high. I mean, unemployment, everything's really under the pump. We need a government to show us some daylight. Just some good news. We need some hope. Otherwise, people are just losing hope.
How about a bit of kindness?
Where's the team? I thought we were all a big team. I thought we'd be kind. I'd just pick any one of those, any one of her theme songs. I'd take it if it was legitimate.
If it was real.
Yeah.
Take us back to the charges. Take us back to the court case. It is so ludicrous that because you kept your gym open to try to help people who were suicidal, families that were falling apart, stressed, kids who'd been mandated out of the sports they love, you said, come here, I'll look after you, it'll be safe here, and you are being put through the courts because of that. It's disgusting. What are the papers like that you've received? How many pages? How big is it?
350 pages worth of evidence. But I mean, they've just come at us and in their all wisdom have declared that gyms aren't essential. I mean, how aren't gyms essential? I mean, you just to feel good, just to, you need to get out and stay healthy.
Absolutely.
Rather they just run this theme song 24/7 about you need to take a jab.
The most important things we could be doing right now is mask use and, of course, vaccinations.
We know that what makes a difference is mask use and vaccinations.
Health is more than an injection, you know what I mean? And I'm pretty sure that Australia has made gyms essential.
I'll look into that. I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. So,
and they should be.
Yeah.
They should be, because that's antidepressant as
Yeah.
well. So, Steve, with the papers that you got, I know you mentioned this earlier, they have combed through earlier interviews we've done, and they've quoted from them, haven't they?
Yeah. They've
How
gone through
petty is that?
Yeah. Oh.
If that isn't a government saying, I'll punish you for speaking up,
Yeah.
I'll send a false set of papers for a false trial, and I'll go through your past interviews and I'll try to intimidate you. Are you intimidated?
No, I think it's pretty embarrassing, to be honest.
For them?
Yeah, it is. I mean, this is what you're resorting to. I mean, we're supposed to be grown men. We're supposed to be here. I don't know why I'm at loggerheads with the government over trying to be kind. You told us to be kind. We're trying to be kind. It's costing me tens of thousands of dollars to be kind, and you're dragging us through the court system for being there for the community. I just, it is confusing. I don't understand what their objectives are. I mean, we offered so many solutions. We'd take a rat test daily. They just weren't interested.
This is Worksafe,
Yeah.
little Gary at Worksafe.
Yeah.
And Jacinda Ardern, this makes you and your Worksafe and your government look really bullying and very vindictive. To go through previous interviews where Steve's just said, hey, this is terrible what's going on. I hope other people aren't going through it. And Steve, you are a touchstone for Kiwis who are brave, real men standing up saying, I'm not going to take it. I'm not going to be treated like this. My country matters more. I will stand on principle. I will ask again if people can send money to help Steve and Chrissy just with the court costs. How are you finding all of that?
We're doing, we've managed to, get it to where we've got it this far.
And
it's
that's
been
thanks
great.
to the
yeah,
people
I mean, it's
of
amazing.
New Zealand, isn't it?
I hate asking for money. It's not,
You didn't ask me to ask. I'm asking for you.
But we're just here. We're just trying to do a good job, and we just want to get a good result for the people. And that's what we're here for. We're here for the community. I mean, there's the community's suffering. It's obvious. We haven't got a gun problem. We've got a fucking depression and job loss and suicidal and just no hope problem out there. You know what I mean? This is what's the reality, and the media's quiet. We've got waiting rooms, people dying rather than being seen in our health system. I mean, there's hundreds of people hundreds of our beautiful health workers being forced out of their jobs up until now, and still happening because they're trying to force the third jab on them, and people are dying because they're not being seen in waiting rooms, and they're saying, threatening a lockdown potentially because our health system's not coping. Don't even talk about lockdowns, mate. You should be get all those workers back into their jobs, and our health system's going to be, back on track. But with no workers, how do you expect it to cope with anything?
Stop forcing the jabs on these health workers. I've heard from countless nurses who say what they have seen in hospitals, many of them are scared to speak out, but what they've seen in hospitals would make all of them that I've spoken to refuse any further boosters from this Pfizer jab. They have seen such injuries. Yeah,
I know personal family members that walked on the first lot of jabs. You know what I mean? So it's happening. But the media is guilty and not speaking up. It's treason. You're selling out your country. You guys know what's going on, and you choose not to air it to the public, and it's just disgusting. We all know, the inflation is out of control. We all know everything's, hard work right now. But the media, you just look in the media, you just think it's all roses.
Honestly, the media, I never watch mainstream, but the other day someone sent me Jesse Mulligan and his 7:00 at night program, and they were literally abusing nurses. That terrible ex-cricketer, Mark someone, he goes, just take it for the team, just take the jab. There are people who are injured who can't take that jab, and he doesn't care.
I'm the same. I'm sorry. I just want to know that my healthcare workers are vaccinated and that they're all in the same camp.
Just for God's sake, get the jab, go back to work. Take one for the team. Every now and then we have to do something we don't want to do. But your country's calling. Get the jab. And then go back. I don't care what your rationale is behind. Your country's saying we need you. So go and do something. It was like me fielding under the helmet. Close to the bat. I didn't want to do it, but I did it for the good of the country.
Right, thanks, Mark.
Did it work? Did you win?
Never caught one.
He's
Who is
such
he?
a sellout.
Oh,
Who is
mate,
he?
Yeah, he's a joke. You know what I mean? I don't care what your thoughts are behind not getting the jab. What a stupid comment.
Yeah.
What a stupid comment. I mean, you got to question the guy's bloody intellect.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People can't take it because they'll potentially die if they do. You know, and that's.
He just sounded like he didn't care at all. Jesse Mulligan
talking
is
about
such
it,
a disappointment
but
too.
So if you're a regular Project viewer, you will know that we're very pro-vaccination, pro-booster.
Regular Project viewer, you will know that we're very pro-vaccination, pro-booster.
We were pretty surprised to see that result today. 57% of New Zealanders, according to this poll, keen for those unvaccinated nurses to come back.
But then all these guys, you
What
know.
a sellout.
But the next anti-bully day, they'll all be putting on their pink shirts and jumping around.
With Hillary Barry.
Yeah. Honestly, it's just sickening, mate. You know, you guys need to just stand on, choose a principle and just back it, you know, rather than just jumping from one topic to another, whatever gets you most likes or the most payday. I mean, it's...
Well, how about they actually look at the 62,000 and growing number of jab-injured people in MedSafe on the MedSafe government website. Just look at that, Jesse Mulligan. And, you know, the other guy, Mark, what's his name, the cricketer. I agree with you. He's not worth even worrying about because I don't think he's got the intellect to take that on.
Well, to say
I just
comments
don't
about
think
we
he
don't
has.
care what your thoughts are behind not taking, I mean, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, it's really sad what's happened in our media, and we will have to replace those people long term. They'll have to go once we get this government
Well, they're not
out.
Kiwis. They're definitely not Kiwis. You know, they're not for the people. So, I mean...
Yeah, they're
the
for
point?
their own pay packet. for
Yeah,
sure.
that's it. It's all about the pay packet. And I tell you, our sporting people too, you know, there's a lot of people that have sold us out and just kept their mouths shut, you know.
Yeah. I can't watch the All Blacks doing a haka. They don't look like warriors anymore because not one All Black has spoken out. And I absolutely know some of those All Blacks have got injured people in their families and they're not speaking out.
Yeah. What sort of a warrior is that?
Yeah,
You know?
what sort of a warrior?
Yeah.
It's a shameful time. And yet at the same time, Steve, there are amazing, brave Kiwis standing up, even though it costs us all to stand up and speak the truth.
Yeah, it's
there
not
are
popular.
more and more of us.
Yeah, it's not popular, but a lot of, you know, so many more people are just over this. You know, they've just seen, you know, it's been a slow process of seeing people, you know, COVID's going to kill us, and then as it's, you know, as it's been rolled out, people are aware now. People know that this is not what it's been made out to be. We've been lied to, and they still continue to lie to us. Now they're talking about 4 and 5 jabs. I mean, come on, just make it stop.
That dreadful little Michael Baker too. He was on the other day on some program. Someone sent me that saying, you know, I want everyone to wear a mask so I don't feel alone.
Yeah.
So I don't stand out. Something like that. It was just so weak and
is it? It's desperate.
insipid. But also, I get the feeling he is like her mouthpiece.
And the other one is we have to turn into a mask-using society. Societies that have embraced mask use are doing very well, like Japan, South Korea. I think the driving metaphor is a good one. You know, you put on your safety belt to protect you. It's a bit like, you know, getting your boosters and vaccines, and you don't drink and drive, and that's to protect everyone else on the roads.
She trots them out in the media. He says, oh, we all have to wear masks, it's all going to get terrible. Michael, everyone's going to die Baker, that's his nickname. And then she comes in and goes, oh, my scientists, my paid
there's
scientists are telling me it's so
but
so
there's
serious.
simulations. We should actually pull out their simulation numbers just for a laugh. Because honestly, the numbers they're running, you know, they've just been absolutely out of the ballpark, just not even close to being reality.
Like Sean Hendy ages ago saying 60,000 Kiwis will die from COVID.
Yeah.
And the question is,
By Easter.
how many in hospital, Steve, are single, double or triple jabbed?
Yeah.
And how many unvaccinated are ending up in hospitals? We need that study done.
Yeah, but that's what they're doing now. You know, it's all about the manipulation of numbers and statistics. And now if you're not triple boosted, they're rating you as being non-jabbed.
That's so cynical. So if you've
Yeah.
only had 2 shots,
Yeah.
they're now saying you're virtually
unvaccinated.
unvaccinated. So now they can put those numbers,
Yeah.
stack
So,
them up when they put all this fear porn out into the media.
Yeah, it is. And I mean, like the media's not doing the society any, benefit through this fear every day. Fear, numbers, death, mayhem, just putting the shits up people.
Calm down, get a hold of yourself.
Please, let me handle this.
I'm gonna
Calm down, now get back to your seat. I'll take care of this. Calm down. Calm down. Get a hold of yourself.
Doctor, you want another phone. Everything's gonna be all right. Please.
Sister, please, I'll handle this.
Yourself. I gotta get out of here. Out of here. I gotta get out of here.
I mean, we need to settle back down. Just get on with, deal with reality and stop just this absolute fear every day. Every time you turn the news on, there's just, more bad news, more bad news, more bad news. I mean, what do you expect, people to be popping off and having depression and, and then these guys spend they spend like $100 million on mental health. And then I've just read that they're going to run out of the main anti-anxiety medication in New Zealand in the next couple of weeks. I mean, it's comical.
Makes you wonder if some people are driving some very nice new cars on that money, because a lot of people in the mental health field are telling you they saw nothing from that. Nothing.
Well, that's not uncommon, is it?
Steve, where to from here, do you think, for this country? I think more and more are waking up to the fact that Ardern and her government have lied, that they've behaved absolutely illicitly from March the 2nd, the police thuggery. That's woken a lot of people up. And then all of these Kiwis who have someone they know who's jab injured. And then there are the sleepy ones who are going, oh, I know someone who just had their booster yesterday and they've had a heart attack, but there's no link. You have to ask those questions. Could there be a link?
Yes.
Could there be a link?
Well, that's science, right? It's the ability to ask questions, but you just shut down in the media. It's only one narrative and that's it. There's just no way to answer.
Government narrative.
Yeah, and that's, I think we just need people in power that have actual real life experience. I mean, that's a key.
So.
Has Michael Baker ever treated anybody? Has he? Or, is he just some, intellect in an office, spouting statistics and running, running his little, numbers and seeing what sort of numbers is going to fly in the next couple of months.
Or potentially being told by the government what numbers to run and what to say. The interesting thing with him, Susie Wiles and Sean Hendy would be to say, who has sponsored you coming through your university period? Have you ever been sponsored by the Gates Foundation? Have you ever been sponsored by Pfizer? If they have been, they needed to declare that to New Zealand a long time ago. What I'd love to see is a group of ethical Kiwis who are getting into Parliament and then doing a full examination of what's gone on. And these sorts of people in media and police and so-called scientists and politicians being held to account. I'd love that, Steve.
Oh, wouldn't it be just
wouldn't
a
it
dream?
Be amazing?
Yeah, I mean, that's what needs to happen. And people, Kiwis are just honest. They just want honesty. It's not life can be hard, and it is right now. There's things going overseas, but as long as you can trust the people that are at the top,
absolutely,
they'll have faith and they'll go along, and we can all do it as one people. But at the moment, they're just creating division, they're creating confusion, frustration. There's just nothing good coming out of this government.
So you basically said this is going to be it's almost like, you probably don't see it like this, the two different classes of people. If you're vaccinated or if you're unvaccinated, you have all these rights. If you are vaccinated...
That is what it is. So, yep.
I totally agree. That final word. Let's keep doing these updates. So you're in court again in September?
Yeah, so I'll keep you updated on the dates, and I think hopefully we can get on with it in September and find out what's going on,
Final question. It costs a lot to get lawyers, and you've got lawyers because you're gutsy and you want this to be the leading case, taking on the bullying of Worksafe. A lot of Kiwis supporting that.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Have you got enough funds at the moment?
We have up until this point right now, but moving forward, it's going to take
keep going.
To keep going. We're going to need to top it up, but we'll find a way. We'll find a way.
On Steve has not asked this, but I'm going to ask all Kiwis, please. This is a leading case, the leading case on Worksafe's bullying. Please, would you put money into the account that we will now put up at the end of this interview, Steve? It's always good to see you.
Yeah, great to see you, mate. Good work. Keep it up.
Catch up regularly.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks, Liz.